Tell me, deep, dark power, shall you return? Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, 4765, Midnight Gemlord, and Sean. Now, we're having this breakdown / discussion on whether or not true magic, Meliodas, in his form should return. Please leave your own thoughts on whether or not true magic should return in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I know a picture down below is more as low as one, non-monthly exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? Over the pencil here, and here we are to talk about how true magic should or should not make its return, and why or why not it should make its secondary debut. Now, let's hop right into the discussion. So the thing is about true magic is that I've talked about it a lot. I think it is just kind of necessary. I do like it because it's a strong form of Meliodas's with a new attack that I could use in versus battles, and it's just cool to draw and all that. It's really, really good on like an art front and a battle front. Like, that's neat. It's wonderful. I love it. But as a story device, as a plot device, as a form, it just feels so weird, because it just feels like Nakaba didn't know how to utilize it, and then the moment he introduced it, he wanted to get rid of it. Like, I don't know. It just has this weird, hefty, ugly story implication behind it. Like, yes, this is the power that we need to defeat and completely destroy the Demon King, but this power is so good and so strong, I've had it for so long that, let me not use it because it will break the plot and we can't have a sequel series without it. Let's go. And then bada bing, bada boom, he gets rid of it. And I've never liked that. I've made it abundantly clear. I've made a whole video talking about true magic already and how I think it's a poorly used plot device. And I think Nakaba kind of just wrote himself into a corner with making the demon theme so stupidly strong and needed some way to get him up out of here. But regardless of that, the form definitely has its fans. It definitely has its notoriety, and it's the form you see everywhere, whether it be in inverse discussions, whether it be in outerverse discussions. People who don't know much about Seven Deadly Sins, haven't read a single chapter of it, when they think of Meliodas in like any sort of external sense, it's either this form or assault mode. It's rarely ever base, and it's rarely ever demon mark. So obviously the form has notoriety. That's a big selling point for it to come back. It's just a form that is popular and well associated with Meliodas. So obviously on a marketing front, if you want to bring the form back, you do, because it's just useful. You can use it for selling merchandise, advertising, all the stuff like that. I know Grand Cross would love another unit for True Magic. I'm not even sure. I don't play Grand Cross. I literally have never even touched it. I avoid gacha games like the plague because I have no impulse control. So maybe it already has a True Magic unit, but if it doesn't, it can. And obviously having like a True Magic King Meliodas would be really, really cool. Like, I think the design itself is really, really cool already. I love the 6 wings that come up behind him. I love the 2 massive extra fists, even though I don't get where they come from. I'm not sure if they're made of or anything like that. I love the claws, everything. I even love the extra like leg designs and guard designs. It's a strange outfit. Like, don't get me wrong. It's an outfit that like you wouldn't catch me in. Like, I don't think I could rock it. But then again, I'm also not like 5 feet tall and built like a world champion bodybuilder. So who knows? Maybe if I was built like that, then I'd rock with it more. But it's like a very good design for Meliodas, and I think the color design complements it very, very well. It's one of my favorite Nakaba designs. Is it my favorite Meliodas form? No, not necessarily. That's a very close competition between like Assault Mode and Demon Mark. I think those two are just like different, especially like King Meliodas and Demon Mark. Maybe King Meliodas in Assault Mode will like run out of nowhere, grab me by the throat, and slam me against the ground and be like, "You will love me the most." But that's another story for another time if we ever see that. So realistically, True Magic, it could be really, really good back just on the design front alone. On the story front, it doesn't necessarily make sense, because here's the thing. Meliodas did just throw it away. But then again, that's the exact reason why it could make perfect sense, because what does that even mean? How do you throw away a magic? Like, I don't know. Like, notably, we've seen characters like Escanor transfer their own internal magic to other people. We know the Demon King, the Supreme Deity, can do that too. They can transfer literal aspects of their power and not even just their flat out magic and sub variations of it in the case of the Demon King, and make them for other people to hold. But Meliodas specifically says, I'm just going to throw it all at the Demon King and hope for the best. And he somehow did that. It could be entirely possible for Nakaba to just write it like Meliodas did not know what he was talking about. He had never thrown away his magic before, and it just latched onto him. He threw away a whole lot of it, but there was like a tiny little lingering piece of the Destroyer that stuck within his heart. And then after time passed, after he started training again, he got access to it, but it was a much like more under control form, and due to chaos being reawakened and the two deities being slain, the world managed to maintain stability because, you know, the extra power wasn't necessarily interfering with anything. There wasn't like the two Demon Kings problem like there was when the Demon King was walking about, because the Demon King didn't exist anymore. So the thing is, it does have like a slight loophole narratively. Sure, would it be kind of dumb to just be like, Meliodas didn't know what he was doing and he said he threw it away, but he didn't really throw it away, or he didn't throw it away entirely? Yeah, but once again, we gotta realize that True Magic Meliodas is built on dumb stuff anyway. He apparently had this magic the entire time, even 3,000 years ago, to the point where the Demon King knew about it, and he just didn't use it, even though he was in a fight to the death with his dad and hypothetical mother-in-law, because Nakaba didn't think of it yet. So, realistically, the existence of True Magic itself is already kind of corny, already kind of stupid, already kind of dumb. At least in my mind, narratively, it's very much plot device. It reeks of plot device, and I think it could be brought back in a stupid way because it was introduced in a stupid way and got rid of in a stupid way. Might as well keep the stupidity train going. And another thing is, I think it is kind of needed, like in a similar way to the plot device was, well, no, in a similar way to that True Magic was a plot device in the original series that was needed to get rid of a big bad. True Magic is also a plot device that's kind of needed to at least fight a big bad. Like, sure, Meliodas is definitely implied to still be a very dangerous threat to Meliodas definitely is a dangerous threat to Meliodas, but Meliodas is still implied to be a very dangerous threat to Arthur, just he himself, without the True Magic being confirmed, with his highest confirmed form being Assault Mode. But once again, he's a confirmed threat against an Arthur that's kind of ambiguous. We don't know where he is power-wise, we don't know how much gains he has access to, how much chaos he has access to, whether or not holding together Camelot has any impact. I think just considering the weirdness around chaos and using Nakaba's original statement about the True Magic form, how it was almost as strong as Hawk Mama, I think it's entirely reasonable that Meliodas just needs the form back to be relevant. But the only reason I'm slightly against that is because supposedly all the sins are relevant. And like, I know some of them got stronger. They got more thick, juicy gains, if you will. Like, look at Gother. But even still, like, chaos, even in an unstable, uncontrollable form, should be able to mollywop them. All he needs to do is hit him with that thing that Kath did, bada bing, bada boom. He eats them all, and then he gets even more powerful. I don't know. So I can definitely see True Magic sort of just being a necessity. Like, if we're going to have Arthur just invade Camelot, not invade Camelot, if we're going to have Arthur invade Leonis again, and Meliodas is probably going to need to defend it this time, I think True Magic would be the plot device. It would be a really cool reveal. Like, don't get me wrong, if Arthur shows up, right, and he's like, hey, you know, Mel, out of respect for you, I was holding back last time, but the knights, they're getting too dangerous, and I'm going to start taking pieces off the board, and you're the first piece that has to go. Really, Arthur? No coffin? No. That stupid kid of death, that knight of death has it, and I'm not going out of my way to get it. Besides, I don't need it. You threw your power away 16 years ago. And Mel goes like, who said I threw away all of it? And bada bing, bada boom, he transforms in True Magic form. And then we get a crazy epic battle between Chaos King Arthur and True Magic Meliodas. It would be crazy, it would be epic, it'd be cool. And another reason I think the form may need to come back is so there can be no doubts, right? Because even now, despite the series being over for a while now, literally over 2 years. Jeez, Fortnite has been out for 2 years. I'm getting old. But regardless, it's been out for a while. And there's still people talking about it. And there are still people saying that True Magic Mel is stronger than Chaos. There's constant debates back and forth. You don't have to look that hard for them. Just look up Meliodas versus Arthur, King of Chaos, and you'll get a whole bunch of different discussions all about it. So I think another way to make sure that when Meliodas gets put down or gets beat, and there's no doubts, like, Have him have True Magic back. Have him have his supposed strongest form back. Have him go all out against Arthur and still lose. It would be the ultimate jobbing. Like, it would truly set up the Four Knights as this true next, more powerful generation than their previous, if their main enemy defeats the previous pinnacle of the previous generation. Because obviously, that's the whole narrative of the Four Knights. They're meant to be the next Seven Deadly Sins. They're meant to destroy Camelot. They're meant to save the world. They're meant to do a whole bunch of this mess. And obviously, it wouldn't be good if by the end of the series, we have the Knights all together, come together and beat Chaos King Arthur. And Arthur's like, oh, you guys are so powerful, but not as strong as True Magic Mel. And then he drops. Meanwhile, if we have True Magic Mel come back, we have no doubts he has 16 years of training on top of the form. He goes ahead, he jobs amazingly, Arthur dookies all over him, and then we're good, and then no one has to argue about it anymore. It's all great, fantastic, and beautiful. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why it should come back, alright? Like, why not? You have the design, you have the marketing, you have the merchandising, you have the story reasons, you have the dumb excuse, you have the plot reason, you have the jobbing reason. You have so many different reasons why True Magic sort of is like almost required to show back up. Like it's literally like in its contractual obligation to show back up and show the world why it's got a job and like be weaker than Chaos King Arthur, so we can have like just absolute confirmation. However, you know, there are some arguments against it. One, we just want to avoid the dumb. Like, obviously, if it would be stupid for Meliodas to throw away the magic, get all that, have that whole conversation about it, destroy the Demon King, only for him to magically have it back because he didn't throw it away. Like, that's dumb. It's stupid. Why would we want that? Top that off with the idea that, you know, maybe we should already have it established Nakaba made an external author statement about True Magic Mel. Mel isn't the main character anymore. There's no need for him to really properly fight Arthur. He can literally just get off-screen sealed, and that can be it. We can be done with him. It can still put respect on his name. Obviously, we don't want to actually end Mel's life. Like, that just seems suboptimal. So I think if Mel were to go into True Magic and really fight Arthur and like try to tear chaos out of him, Arthur would be forced to go all out and then execute him. Meanwhile, if Mel's locked to something like assault mode and he's just barely relative to Chaos Arthur, Arthur could beat him down and then seal him and do stuff like that. Like, avoiding any reason for Arthur to actually end Meliodas, because Meliodas himself is way more marketable and way more important than any form of his. Just Meliodas himself is 10 times as iconic as True Magic is and always will be. So keeping him alive in any way, just putting him in a box, essentially, which is what would happen if we seal him, I think that's much more plausible, and it would keep the narrative mysterious. And I think Nakaba does things like that on purpose. Like the whole idea of we need it confirmed, we need it locked down with fights and a feat and like all that True Magic Mel is the lesser of Chaos Arthur. Nakaba may just do that because he likes it. It keeps the story being discussed about. It keeps people wondering to this day. We still, despite the numerous amounts of evidence against Mael, we still have people arguing about whether or not Mael is actually relative to Prime Meliodas, because Nakaba just never showed us the fight. He specifically teased us, laughed at us, waggled his finger, and ran off. There are definitely easy ways to scale Mel above, but trust me, you've seen the Mael fans in the comments. Some of you are Mael fans in the comments right now, getting mad that I even mentioned this. And I understand, and I respect it. Your character's flawed. But regardless, that's the thing. And Nakaba is definitely the kind of guy who will allude to things, allude to interesting battles, allude to interesting interactions. They just never do them. We also didn't get to see Prime Meliodas versus Prime Elizabeth. Never have, never will. I highly doubt we will ever see Nakaba sit down and draw that fight, because he simply does not care to. And it leaves us discussing endlessly. That's the thing. I think by locking True Magic off, by keeping it separate, by just having it dangling like a pair of shiny keys in front of us, Nakaba gets to have all that extra fun that he does. And he doesn't have to draw a fight with it. The form's probably it's not, ironically enough, base Meliodas is more annoying to draw than True Magic Meliodas. I'm speaking from personal experience, mainly because his clothes are so annoying. Unless he's shirtless, then he's fine. Then you don't have to worry. And like, if he's just shirtless and has pants on, or he's in assault mode, he's easier to draw then. But like, regular Meliodas and King Meliodas are legitimately harder to draw than True Magic. So, hypothetically, I could definitely see Nagama being like, let's not. So overall, it's really a 50-50. What do you guys think? Do you guys think True Magic should spawn back into the narrative one way or another, or do you think it should stay out permanently? Pick a choice, and I said pick it. I'm so like I just recorded another video, but please tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that little notification will miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do with Patreon down below. Support for as low as $1 a month. Links, exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.